Greetings everyone and good day. Forest Lawn Memorial Park, Glendale, California. I want to talk about a real life hero of faith. If it was possible, which is not, but if it was possible, this guy ought to be put in the 11th chapter of Hebrews along with the other heroes of faith. What he endured, much of it is not fit to be put on YouTube, lest it be censored. But he was a prisoner of communist Bulgaria, and he was ordered to deny his faith, but he didn't. Haralan Popov. This is right off Cathedral Drive. That's the entrance right there. There's a little statue. Actually, we're right across from the statue of David. And in that section where the statue of David is, Catherine Kuhlman is buried. We're on the other side of Cathedral Drive is where Haralan Popov is. Born March 7th, 1907 in Bulgaria. He spent 13 years in Bulgarian prisons. He was, as a young man, an atheist, but then as a teenager he became converted. In 1929 he was accepted as pastor of the Bulgarian Pentecostal church. He attended Bible school in London where he married his wife, Ruth. Then he returned to Bulgaria at the outbreak of World War II. We know that at the end of World War II, communism spread throughout Eastern Europe and Bulgaria was swallowed up in the Soviet move. So it was a very, very red country, red with communism. He was in the capital city of Sofia, Bulgaria, when he was arrested on charges of espionage. He was accused of, this is 3 years after the war ended, he was accused of spying for the United States and London, which he didn't do. Total lie. 8 months in prison. He and other ministers had a lot of cruel atrocities committed against them. They were forced to plead guilty to treason. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison. He was released on September 25th, 1961 after 13 years, and he joined his family in Sweden. Let's go look at his grave. It's just a few steps up here. This is Pastor Haralan Popov. I don't know why his wife isn't buried with him. I didn't get that information, but here he is. He was arrested in 1948. He had a public trial in order to humiliate him and 15 other pastors. His wife was forbidden to do any kind of work, so they were persecuting her. She managed to escape with the help of her government in Sweden. She managed to escape Bulgaria, and she worked to get him out of Bulgaria. It took a lot of work. She had to raise awareness of what the communists were really like. It seems like at the time the Western world, the United States, Canada, Britain, the other Western nations they were kind of asleep as to the atrocities that the communists were committing, especially against people of faith. Pastor Haralan was a victim of torture, hard labor. He never tired of testifying of his faith to other prisoners. He would do it if he was locked in a cell. He would take a tin cup and tap out Morse code messages to the prisoner behind him in the other cell, and they would talk about the gospel back and forth. He got to a point where he was giving free English lessons to any prisoner who wanted to learn. And the guards at the time, they didn't know English, but he began talking about the Lord Jesus and faith in the Lord, and he was getting prisoners converted to faith right under the noses of the communist guards, and they didn't even know it. He was truly a great man. As his tombstone said, "I have fought a good fight, I have finished my course," 2 Timothy 4:7. This guy's life was very similar to Richard Wurmbrand. I did his grave more than a year ago. Both of them were victims of communist regimes. They were overcomers. They both, with their families, fled to the United States. Richard Worm Braun is buried at Rose Hills Memorial Park. Haralan Popov is buried here at Forest Lawn Memorial Park. Brother Haralan founded the Door of Hope International for Christian relief to believers in communist lands, supplying them Bibles and all kinds of practical help. He visited the prison where he was a victim of torture, like a couple of months before he died. He was finally allowed to go, and this was in 1988. And a month or two after that, in November 14th, 1988, he died here in Glendale, complications related to cancer. He was 81 years old. Truly a great man. And I read his book, Tortured for His Faith. I'll put a description of it, a listing of the book in the description. I recommend you read it. I read it when I was 18 years old. That was almost 55 years ago, and it deeply affected me. And it inspired me to be true to God no matter what. Rest in peace, Brother Haralan. Of course, I never met you, but I'm very honored to stand by your grave. And I look forward to meeting you one day. Rest in peace, sir.